Hey everyone, David MacDonald here from Vitality Fitness Calgary, and today we're going to go over the 6 ways on why interval cardio is better for you than steady state cardio, especially if you want to lose weight. Now there's a big difference between interval cardio and steady state cardio. Interval cardio is cardio where you're working for brief periods of time, at high intensity, so maybe 20, 30, 40 seconds, and then you're taking brief periods of recovery for about 20, 30, 40, 60 seconds, and then you're repeating that pattern about 10, 15 times, depending on what your workout looks like and what your fitness level is like. So that's interval cardio. Now, steady state cardio, on the other hand, is where you're doing cardio for a set duration of time, usually for a longer duration. The intensity usually isn't as high, it's more of a low to moderate intensity, and you're going for a set, steady pace without taking any kind of recovery. So that's steady state cardio. So that would be like going for a bike ride, going for a jog, doing that for about 40, 45, 60 minutes, whatever that duration is. On the flip side, interval cardio would be something like sprinting, on a bike or on a treadmill for about 10 to 20 seconds, taking maybe about 20 to 30 seconds rest, and then repeating. So it's more about intensity, less about duration and a steady pace. So that's interval cardio. Now, there's 6 reasons why interval cardio is actually better for you than steady state cardio. Again, especially if our goal is to lose weight. So we're going to go over those 6 ways, and hopefully you guys are going to walk out of here with a better understanding as to why interval cardio is a better choice than steady state. It's not to say that steady state cardio doesn't have its time and place, but if you're looking for something that's going to really, save you time, make the best use of your time, give you the best results, by far interval cardio is the way to go, not steady state. So, first thing on our list is interval cardio is going to burn more calories overall compared to steady state cardio. So anytime we do cardio or any kind of physical activity, we're going to be burning calories. We're going to be, utilizing something for energy. So we're going to be burning those calories to help us actually move and work out. Now, when you do interval cardio, you're actually going to be burning calories during the workout and after the workout. This is known as afterburn. And we're going to get into a little bit more when we talk about oxygen debt, and we also talk about Epoch. So we're going to get into what Epoch is a little bit later. So all you need to know is you're going to burn more calories overall with interval cardio compared to steady state cardio. So you're going to burn calories during the workout with interval cardio, and you're also going to burn calories after the workout with interval cardio. With steady state cardio, you're going to burn calories during the workout, you're going to burn calories for maybe an hour after the workout. So not a huge afterburn. With interval cardio, your afterburn can last up to 24, 36, even as high as 48 hours, depending on your intensity. So you get that afterburn effect from interval cardio, which is very, very important, especially in terms of spreading that over time. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So all you need to know for point 1 is we have more calories burned overall from interval cardio than we do from steady state cardio. Got to change my marker, I'm trying up there. All right, next thing we have is an increase in oxygen debt. So you're probably wondering, why the heck do I even care about this? Like, what's oxygen debt? What does it mean? Why is that even important? It's very important. When you do any kind of interval cardio, your intensity is going to be quite high. That's one thing to remember. The intensity is very high. Now, intensity and time are going to be working in opposite directions. So anytime something's really intense, you don't have to do it for as long. The time is going to be decreasing. So the more you increase the intensity, the more time decreases. Now, you've probably heard people, maybe you heard this from a friend, a coworker, say, you know what, I had the most intense workout ever. I was at the gym for 2 hours. It was so intense. Well, I'm sorry to say that actually violates the principles and rules of exercise physiology, because the more intense an activity is, the less time you should probably do it for, or you probably need to do it for. Give you guys a great example. Could you sprint for an hour? Could you go onto a field and sprint back and forth for as hard as you can for 1 hour? No, you couldn't, because you eventually get out of breath, you get tired, you burn out, and you'd have to stop, and you'd probably have to walk it out and take some recovery. So that's an example right there of intensity. If something is really intense, you're not going to be able to do it for very long. So anytime you hear your friends saying they're at the gym for 2 hours, that 2 hours probably wasn't very intense. It was probably half of that was spent on the phone. So we'll leave that for another day though. Now, back to what we're talking about, intensity. So we always want to make sure that our interval cardio is at optimal intensity, and that means that we don't have to do it for as long. So key here is intensity goes up, time goes down. They work in opposite directions. Likewise, if something is less intense, you can do it for longer. So could we all go for a nice brisk walk for 1 hour? Of course we could. We could all probably go out and walk around the lake or walk around Glenmore Landing if you live close to there, and we could do an hour-long walk because the intensity isn't as high and we're going to be able to pace ourselves. Now, the reason this is important is because when you have a workout, especially an interval cardio workout that's intense, you are going to be creating what's known as oxygen debt. So the reason why you want to be concerned about oxygen debt is because when you go through oxygen debt, what's going to happen is the intensity of the workout is going to outpace your body's ability to keep up with oxygen consumption. So I'm going to give you guys an example of this, and we'll learn later on why that's actually very important. So whenever you do any kind of interval cardio, maybe it's a sprint on a bike, on a treadmill, you're sprinting at boot camp, one thing you're going to notice is you're going to be able to sprint for probably about 10 to 15 seconds. You're going to be able to go as hard as you can, maybe 20 seconds. And then what happens after that is you feel really out of breath, okay? And you're really out of breath because the intensity has outpaced your body's ability to keep up with that oxygen uptake. So intensity is way up here, and your body is trying to catch up to that intensity, okay, by consuming oxygen to try to keep up with that activity. Now, when you do any kind of interval cardio, any kind of sprint style cardio, that's known as anaerobic cardio. And what all anaerobic means, or all you really need to know, is when you're doing any kind of anaerobic cardio, your body's muscular system is what's driving that activity, and it's just driving you to gain energy for that activity. So your working muscles are really helping you maintain the intensity for your activity and allowing you to actually gain movement and gain energy for that activity, as opposed to steady state cardio where you're relying on your cardiovascular system to perform the activity. You're relying on the activity of your heart and lungs to keep up with oxygen intake. That's the reason why when you do steady state cardio, your body can do it for an indefinite period of time, as long as you're pumping blood and oxygen to those working muscles. You can do cardio for 2 hours at steady state. But with anaerobic or sprint style cardio, your working muscles can only keep up with that energy demand for so long. For most people, it's going to be about 2 minutes is the amount of time. And in the meantime, as intensity is up here, oxygen uptake is going to be up here because the amount of intensity is outpacing your body's ability to keep up with oxygen intake or consumption. So the reason that's important is because over time what happens is that your body is going to experience oxygen debt, okay? And that's why we feel out of breath when we do any kind of interval cardio activity, okay? We finish that sprint and we're recovering and we're trying to uptake that oxygen as fast as we can because we're so depleted and we're so deprived in oxygen because the intensity is so high, which is creating an oxygen debt, okay? If we wanted to use a simple analogy, okay, when we run out of money in our bank account and we need to pay for something, well, we have to use credit of some kind. Maybe that's a line of credit, maybe that's a credit card, maybe that's getting a loan. So you can look at a line of credit or a credit card as the same thing as when you are on recovery, you're breathing and you're trying to replenish that oxygen debt, just like when you are in debt, you have to pay that debt back. So that's the whole premise behind oxygen debt, and why we breathe so heavy when we finish working out is because we're trying to repay that oxygen debt we've experienced from working out at a high intensity. So that gets into point number 3, is an increase in Epoch. Okay, and all Epoch is excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Okay, and the reason why that's important is because that is what is truly going to repay that oxygen debt. okay? When we're, working out and we're on recovery, we are going to be increasing our oxygen uptake, but that's not going to be enough to repay oxygen debt, especially if we're doing an interval cardio session that's, 20, 30 minutes long, okay? Those little 30, 20, 15-second bouts of recovery are not going to be able to repay that oxygen debt, okay? Because intensity, again, is way up here. Oxygen consumption is way down here. We're not going to be able to keep up with that, okay? So after we're done our workout, our body is going to experience something called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. And that's where our body's going to have the time to increase oxygen uptake and to cancel that oxygen debt that we've experienced from the workout. Okay, so if we stop our workout, our interval cardio workout, our intensity is going to decrease. It's going to come down to here, and it's going to be able to meet our oxygen consumption, which is here. Okay, and that's going to be able to eventually cancel out that oxygen debt. And if our intensity is lower, we're probably going to be able to increase oxygen consumption after the workout, therefore repaying that oxygen debt. So that's all excess post-exercise oxygen consumption is. Now, not to get into too much detail, the reason that that's important is because our body is going to be uptaking oxygen at an elevated rate after the workout. Okay? The reason why you want to create Epoch after your workout is because your body is going to need energy to uptake that oxygen. Your body has to gain energy to do this. And your body is going to gain energy from something. It's got to get fuel from something. What's the number one place your body's going to go to get fuel for something like this? Well, it's your body fat. So effectively, by increasing your oxygen debt and increasing your Epoch, you're going to burn more calories after your workout. And that's where that afterburn effect comes in, is you're actually going to burn more calories after your workout from interval cardio because we have to repay that oxygen debt, and we also have to do that by increasing our oxygen consumption after the workout, and we need energy to do that. Okay? The other thing we're going to experience is we're going to have an elevated body temperature. So anytime you do interval cardio after your workout, everyone who's ever been in our boot camp experiences this. You're sweating, your body temperature is elevated. You feel really hot. You might have that, complexion where you're really red. But at the end of the day, what you're experiencing is you're experiencing an elevated body temperature. Okay? And the reason why elevated body temperature is significant is because eventually our body has to bring that temperature back down. Okay? If our body temperature is all the way up here, our body always wants to maintain balance. It always wants to maintain homeostasis. And that means bringing us back to a normal level. So we got to take that body temperature and we got to drop it back down to a normal level, to that baseline. And again, we need energy to do this. We need calories to do this. So our body is going to be burning body fat and burning calories in order to bring the body temperature back down. Okay, so that's another benefit you get from interval cardio. The fifth benefit is increasing muscle mass. Or sorry, not increasing muscle mass, but maintaining muscle tissue. So from a fat loss and from a metabolism standpoint, anytime you do any kind of activity, you want to do an activity that's going to help you maintain muscle, okay, and lose body fat. And if possible, maybe gain a little bit of muscle. Whenever we do interval cardio, we are gaining energy from the working muscles. Okay, we're able to actually do the activity because our working muscles are producing force for us able to do whatever that activity is. Maybe that's a sprint. Maybe that's sprinting on a bike. Maybe that's going on a sled. Maybe that's going on some battle ropes if you've been to our class. But at the end of the day, the energy and the force from the working muscles is going to allow us to do that interval cardio or do that activity. So what this is going to do is this is going to maintain muscle tissue, okay, and maintain muscle mass because we're actually working our muscles. Anytime you don't work your muscles, okay, whether that's from weight training, whether that's from interval cardio, you are going to lose the muscle tissue. It goes back to that whole saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, a great example to give you guys is, have you ever seen someone who's broken their arm? And they have a cast on their arm for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. When they take that cast off, you can see a significant decrease in size in their arm. They've experienced muscle atrophy because they're not using the muscles in that arm. So it's a bit of an extreme example, but the point being is that interval cardio is going to help you maintain muscle tissue. because you're actually using the working muscles to produce energy and produce force and to be able to actually do that activity, as opposed to the steady state cardio where you're relying on your cardiovascular system to actually do the workout and create movement and create energy. So that's going to be benefit number 5. Number 6 is optimizing metabolism. So this goes right back to maintaining muscle. So the more muscle we can maintain from a particular activity and the more muscle we can maintain as we age, the more we're going to be able to optimize our metabolism. And by optimize our metabolism, I mean maintain our metabolism or even increase our metabolism, which is very important if you're wanting to lose body fat, you're wanting to maintain a healthy body weight. You want to be able to optimize metabolism and keep it as high and for as high as you can for as long as you can. So optimizing metabolism is another huge benefit from interval cardio because you're not going to lose any muscle doing interval cardio, provided that your nutrition is spot on and that you're weight training. So that's another big benefit from interval cardio. So just to recap, the 6 benefits of doing interval cardio as opposed to steady state cardio: we're going to burn more overall calories, and this is because we're going to increase our oxygen debt, which is going to mean we're going to have to increase our oxygen consumption after the workout, which means we're going to need energy to do that. And energy means we're going to have to burn calories from something. So we're going to have to burn calories from body fat to be able to accomplish repaying that oxygen debt, increasing Epoch. Okay? We're also going to have to increase our calorie burning to bring our body temperature back down. So we're going to get those calories from body fat. Okay? Interval cardio is also going to allow us to maintain muscle tissue, which is going to allow us to optimize metabolism. So those are the 6 ways in which interval cardio is a much better option than steady state cardio. If we were to add one more brief option or bonus option in, the other thing we talked about is time. The more intense an activity is, the less time you need to do it for. So if you want to save some time, you want to get your cardio workout in, you only need to go for maybe 20 or 30 minutes if you're doing interval cardio, as opposed to 60, 40, 45 minutes if you're doing steady state cardio. So you actually get to save time. So those are the 6 reasons why interval cardio is better than steady state cardio. I'm David MacDonald from Vitality Fitness Calgary. Thanks for watching.